All right, so I cannot figure out why it's so dark over here. I have the lights on. Okay, so for chapter 7 on Monday, you've listened to the story. Now you're going to be answering some questions. You have some questions that are talked about in the story. You have 15 questions. And these 15 questions all can be talked about, or if you listen to the story and listen to me talk sometimes, a lot of these questions can be answered very quickly. Others, you're going to have to think a little bit. Like number 3. Says the above sentence has a literary device called a metaphor. What does the author mean by birthplace? So it's like, according to legend, the sun god chose the birthplace of the Inca civilization. What does he mean by birthplace? Was the Inca civilization birthed? Like you would think about like a mother giving birth to a child? No. But that's where the Inca civilization was. What? Think about it. Okay. So what group of people are we done? Once again, we have some stuff up here. So all of these have to be answered with a complete sentence, okay? Okay. All right. Now, your big question. Big question is, what factors contributed to the Inca Empire becoming the largest pre-Columbian empire? Now, I have went through, and this is my opinion, and I believe one of the factors was its army, its ability to acquire land, and then lastly, it was adapting to their surroundings. So, like, what I mean by the army grew so big, and it was able to. It said, if you read back on the first, right here, my notes, it said the Quechuchu army. Yes, I had to phonetically do it. Quechuchu army defeated the enemy, greatly increasing their power. The size of the Quechuchu army grew as Cusco as their base. They began to conquer other indigenous groups. And throughout the Andes Mountains, the empire was born. So their army was able to defeat or conquer uh, individual groups. Okay. Did I spell that right? I did. Okay, they acquired land. Their land, if you look on the map, between everything else, it started all the way up here and went down here. It was, I think, 2,000 plus miles of land that they acquired through fighting or one way or the other. So that's one way they also did. And they adapted to their surroundings by terrace farming, by doing all this other stuff, by learning how to, what did they call it? Freeze drying their potatoes. So they were able to do all these things to become one of the largest pre-Columbian societies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make the intro sentence, and you are just going to write the details and a good closing. So I'm going to use the question as part of my sentence. So, some factors that, what did they say, contributed to I'm just going to put growth of the Inca Empire were their army, their acquiring of land, and the ability. Wait. Oh my word! I just went blank on ability. A B. That's right. Okay. Okay. So, some factors that contributed to the growth of the Inca Empire were their army, their acquiring of land, and the ability to adapt to their surroundings. I could have put their acquisition of land, I guess. But anyway, so now I need you to write a supporting statement for their army, for the acquiring of land, and for their ability to adapt. Okay? And I did not spell surroundings right. That's why I do better with kids in my room. Surroundings. Sorry, that's an ing. All right. You can do this. Just write me 4 more sentences, and you're good to go. I got the worst part out of the way. Anytime I start a paper, anytime I start a paragraph, the worst thing and the hardest thing for me to do is to write the opening statement. That's the hardest part. So go from there. Okay, guys? I will talk to y'all later. Have a good Monday.